large group. This is the group of deep sleepers. And here's what I mean. We always talk about, there's 5 new teams to the playoffs. And so people are like, okay, well, a new team could be the Ravens, a new team could be the Lions, a new team could be the Chiefs. And then people will be like, well, and there'll be, there's a sleeper team. And like, so this year, a lot of people are picking the Giants, whose over-under's 8 wins or something. Like, none of those teams are deep sleepers, meaning a team that if they made it, you're like, oh my God, great. They made the playoffs. Like the Texans, CJ Stroud's rookie year. People thought they're going to be the worst team in the league. They make the playoffs. Like, these are the only 6 teams that qualify as, oh my God, they made the playoffs. So if there's going to be an, oh my God, they made the playoffs team, it's one of these 6 teams.
Titans.
It's deep sleep. Maybe.
Are they also like, no chance they're making?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Because
it all feels like.
Only team I could even think would be the Titans. And that would be a shock.
That's why deep sleep.
That's the only team.
So
take a look at Jacoby Brissett's numbers in the end of the year.
The Cardinals.
Yeah.
Saying, all right.
Yeah, but the playoff.
Geno, Jets and Geno. Again, that's why they're the only oh my God teams.
Okay.
The more attractive but more vapid cousin of deep sleepers, shallow sleepers.
Yeah.
This is like filling out multiple March Madness brackets. And you're like, I called this. Everybody's going to pick one of these teams. Good for you. Wow, you think there's going to be a shocker out of the NFC South. Whoop-de-doo. You believe in John Harbaugh.
Made the playoffs.
It's hilarious that Nick, I'm going to let this clip play, obviously, but it's hilarious that Nick is doing this when he just picks the Chiefs every single year, every single season, every single game, and yet he's now wagging his finger at the other people for picking teams like the Saints or something. Like,
say it again?
Carolina made
exactly,
the
but they would agreed. These
one
teams,
of those teams has to.
The Bucks
except
could.
the Bucks, right.
These teams, again, you can call them your sleeper, but there's not really a lot of oomph and gravitas.
Okay.
QB swap. Look, complete the full Brett Favre career arc. Go to Minnesota. Meanwhile, you know what the Steelers feels like a Steelers quarterback? Kyler Murray. Retread with some options. You know what I think Kevin O'Connell would enjoy? A quarterback with the arm talent of Aaron Rodgers. Everyone wins. Just switch. Just switch. Rodgers to the Vikings where he should have been to begin with. Kyler to the Steelers where he should have been to begin with. Everybody, it's at least something fresh and new. What could Kevin O'Connell do with a former top 5 pick who flamed out at his first stop? We've seen the movie. They can be good, not great. We've seen it.
Okay. Can I ask you?
Yeah.
So if you were Minnesota and that offer came on your table, you would definitely do it.
If I were Minnesota, do I think they have a higher upside with Aaron Rodgers than Kyler Murray? Yes. And if I'm Pittsburgh, do I think I would take the lower upside this year from going from Kyler to Aaron for the lottery ticket up? And you know what? I'd be like, you got to throw in JJ. I get both of them. We're bringing your whole quarterback controversy over here, and we're going to see how it works.
I think Justin Jefferson.
No, JJ McCarthy.
Okay.
Yeah, throw it, both your quarterbacks for Aaron. That's the deal. That's the trick. Take the over. Washington and Cincinnati. I'm not talking about in wins. I'm talking about just in their games this season. They're going to be good offenses. They're going to be bad defenses. There's going to be a lot of points. They're going to be entertaining games. I don't think either team is a legitimate contender, and I actually don't, right now in pencil, think either team's going to be in the playoffs. I think they'll score a lot of points. QB prove it year. All for different reasons. Baker doesn't have a contract. He said, I'm going to make him pay for it. No problem. Justin Herbert. If there wasn't, a lot of scrutiny on you already, thanks to, the latest candid camera video, there's a little more. Also, it's probably about time you know what? I'm not even going to ask you to win a playoff game. Can you just play well in a playoff game? Baby steps. To play well in a playoff game, win would be a bonus. And CJ Stroud, we just talked about him being under more pressure than any quarterback in the league. Again, I expect all 3 of these teams next year to be quarterbacked by the same quarterbacks they're quarterbacked by this year. Baker, Herbert, CJ. It's still a bit of a prove-it year for all 3 teams for different reasons. High school debate. Any of you guys do high school debate? You guys? Did you do it?
I did not. That wasn't really like.
Oh, you were too cool.
Did you do high school debate?
I did not.
Heck yeah, he did.
Danny Parkins was state champion in it.
He was?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. I did. That's a lie. I did it one quarter or one semester.
What happened?
So I'm glad you asked, because that leads right to this.
Okay.
The idea behind high school debate is you go into a hot button topic and you don't know which side you're arguing until the moment of the debate. So you have to prepare the case for both sides.
Yeah.
And while obviously I'm about as well equipped to do that as anyone who's ever lived, I didn't feel like it was earnest. I was like, what if it's something I truly believe in? It was real topics, like real life things, like that you have so I didn't like it. Here's why I say it. I feel like you can make equally strong, very pro and very con arguments for these three teams. Like, if you wanted to make an argument as to why any of these three teams this year they are going to the Super Bowl, there's evidence for it. You can make.
You think San Fran?
Yes,
Super
I mean
Bowl? Super Bowl.
San Fran last year, their quarterback missed half the season. They were the most injured team in the league. They were playing for the 1 seed in the final game of the regular season, and they won a playoff game. There's the argument. You know what I mean? Brock Purdy's good. The Shanahan's great.
Con side.
Right.
Everybody's
Con side. The substation.
What's going on?
Cowboys we've talked about a lot. Philadelphia, I've said I think they could win 14 games. I think Sirianni could be fired at Thanksgiving. Like, you could make a very strong pro or con argument for these teams, high variance teams in my opinion. Did you watch Highlander as a kid?
No.
I didn't watch it either. I don't even know what it's about. I think there's a big leather jacket involved, but I do know the tagline. There can be only one. Jags, Pats. It's not so much about Drake Trevor as much as is this. These are two teams last year that surprisingly won 13 games. The Pats win 14 games? You guys won 14 games.
We lost to the Steelers, Raiders, and Bills.
Yeah, you guys, and then in the Super Bowl by a lot.
And won the Super Bowl.
But two teams that smashed their win total. Both are, in my opinion, prime to different degrees, regression candidates, at least to a degree, have varying levels of confidence from the national media, and I think only one of them is going to be able to duplicate its success from last year. And I'm not even saying it's going to be the Jags. What I'm saying is I expect one of these two teams to be one of the teams that goes from in the playoffs to out.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It goes from 13, 14 wins to 8, 9 wins. I don't think they're both going to. Maybe. It might be. I don't think they're both going to be there. Sliding doors moment 2025. Midway through the third quarter of a late game in the 2025 season, the Green Bay Packers were 9-3-1. Micah Parsons was making Defensive Player of the Year case. He was wreaking havoc. They were beating the Denver Broncos. They were about to have, I think, be a half game out of the 1 seed in the NFC, beat Denver, and see where they can go. Micah tears his ACL. The Broncos come back and win that game. The Broncos end up taking off and getting the 1 seed. The Packers never win again all year. I do wonder how we don't look at those teams last year at all as having similar seasons. I wonder how close they actually were. When they played, they looked like very close. Yeah. And if that Micah Parsons false step trying to chase down Bo Nix, how much that altered both of their seasons. The Broncos aren't the 1 seed, and you guys are. So many different things. Do the Packers end up winning the division instead of the Bears? All of it. Spot no longer guaranteed. Wow. The best team of the last decade and 2 of the best teams, you could argue 2 of the 3 best teams that haven't won a Super Bowl of the past decade, who the last half decade we just consider perennial playoff teams. They're in there every year. Last year proved that spot's no longer guaranteed. This year they have to go out and prove last year was the fluke. I don't think all 3 of them are going to prove it. I think one of these 3 teams we're going to come after this year and be like, oh, okay. Doesn't mean the window for their quarterback or their coach is over. The Ravens already got a new coach, but it means they have to open a new one. And so spot no longer guaranteed. Too much hype? Question mark. Bills, Bears. Bears, year 2, Ben Johnson. Caleb in year 3, the defending champion of one of the toughest divisions in football. Just gave Darnell Wright, the right tackle, all that money. Loved the offense. Loved Colston Loveland. Caleb, ask Liam Cohen. He's the only thing on NFL Network's website, which I think is just NFL.com these days. Regardless, the Bills, every conversation with them. It's not their fault. It's all anybody asks them about. Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Did they get better from last year to this year? I don't know. Maybe. They fired their coach. They did add DJ Moore. Did they get better? I'm not sure. They're very high on the tiers. Too much hype, question mark. KW, what do we worry about for the team that loses the Super Bowl?
Oh, the Super Bowl hangover. It's a real thing.
Yep. What was the real Super Bowl last year? NFC Championship game. Rams.
That's
Super Bowl hangover, question mark.
Really?
If that was the real Super Bowl,
Wow.
that's a concern. This whole Myles Garrett's missing practice with it's a lower body something is all Sean McVay's telling us. I saw the news today. Aaron Donald might come back. He also was like filming a documentary series or something. I didn't love that at all. Here's what I'm telling you. We had the Rams at number 1. Committee thought long and hard and said, you know who maybe should be number 1? We were like, who did win the Super Bowl last year? We kicked it around, we asked, we tried, we checked the internet.
they're very good.
One within a route.
Forgotten champs.
It's true.
Fellas, we do a 2-hour-a-day, 5-day-a-week sports talk show. Since a week after the Super Bowl, how many Seahawks segments you think we've done?
They're very good. We haven't done enough, probably. If we do, it's like, should we talk more about the Seahawks?
Yeah, and the Seahawks flew under Danny, to his credit, thought the
That's
Seahawks
right.
were awesome all year. But they flew under the radar nationally for a big portion of last season. They then won the Super Bowl, went right back under the radar. Even in our graphics, you can just sense our team begrudgingly including Darnold on them. It's like, well, they won the Super Bowl.
No, they're very
They're
good.
back atop the tiers. Brew.
We should do that.
Oh, there are so many clips that I'm going to be cutting from this thing because there's just so much everywhere. So much everywhere. From Justin Herbert, quarterback, prove it year, to the Seattle Seahawks not being discussed and flying under the radar, to the Bears being the 4th best team ahead of the Broncos. I just, oh man, oh, my head. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. I don't even know, man. Again, like he did last time, he does not think the Bills are better than the Kansas City Chiefs. He's just doing this to try to set them up to fall and fail. We know that. It's the most obvious thing ever. I mean, it's just I also love how he'll be like, oh, you know, the NFC North is like the hardest division, you know, in football. And it's just like, you just kind of talk about how the Packers losing Micah, how devastating that is and how much of a problem that is. The Minnesota Vikings should be doing a quarterback swap that with Kyler Murray, like, will be okay, but like not great. And the Lions, you don't think Jared Goff is a good quarterback. Thinks he has small hands. So like, I love that as well. I love that as well. I love how in some magical universe, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the same level as the Chargers and the Texans. They're ahead of the Bengals. Like, oh my gosh, come on. Oh my God, I can't. My head. It's just, it's crazy. Imagine thinking that the Chiefs should be ahead of the Broncos. I don't know, man. This is one of those clips, because this was a long one. They were really, really lingering here with this one. I'm like in the middle of it. I'm like, am I gonna post this clip? Am I gonna stop it? Like, what's there to say? I was surprised. I don't know why he didn't just do the Mahomes Mountain. Like, why he did the tiers when he just did them before. But he goes, oh, I want to like kind of slightly mix it up a little bit. And it's just like, I guess everything just feels like such a rehash then at that point. It's you know, Groundhog's Day. So, you know, it's like I'm I'm not gonna lean in so heavily of like the rankings in themselves. That's why I was trying to listen to what he was saying about each thing. Like even just saying, oh, the Chiefs and the Ravens the Chiefs have been the best team of the last decade or something like that, and the Ravens, and it's like the Eagles have been to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 Super Bowls in the last decade. I don't know if you know that. So, what are we doing here? They went to 3 Super Bowls and won 2. That's just a fact. That is a fact. Since Patrick Mahomes was drafted, the Philadelphia Eagles have won 2 Super Bowls and have gone to 3. That's the reality. I know it hurts people's feelings. Doesn't change the reality. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. This TIERS also just kind of threw me off because I didn't know it was getting done today. Because again, it was done recently, and everyone was talking about quarterback rankings, and I quickly come across it. And then we're talking about deep sleepers. For me, it's very much the Dolphins, the Jets, the Raiders, and the Titans. Not so much the Cardinals or the Browns. Like that's just me. The shallow sleepers, where everyone's picking them. Say it with say it with your chest, and it's like, I'm saying the Saints with my chest. Quarterback swap, Steelers, Vikings. I mean, I don't know, man. I just, I don't even know how to comment on that, because obviously it's not like a real comment about switching quarterbacks and this, that, and the third. So it's like, okay, sure. The Commanders actually got digs, like I said they would and should. This is what I've been saying. I'll be making a separate video about that, probably through NFL Live or something like that. The Cincinnati Bengals, I think, are going to be significantly better than Nick is trying to pretend that they're not going to be. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are back, and Joe Burrow will be better than ever. And again, putting the Texans and the Chargers in the same group as the Bucks is just, the Bucks should be the shallow sleepers. Let's be honest here. And then you have the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the 49ers. It's like those teams have been grouped so much over the years because of their competitiveness in the NFC. And obviously, it's always kind of been fluctuating. It's always mainly been the 49ers and the Eagles, and the Cowboys are always like, hey, I'm part of it too. And the Eagles and the 49ers are like, maybe try to just get to an NFC championship game at least. Maybe just one. Have you guys won multiple playoff games in the same run before? No? Okay. So, it's just, again, different levels. If you want to talk about high school debate, the 49ers and the Eagles win that. They win that. I think the Cowboys need to just be on their own separate magical tier of just hopes and dreams and unicorns and rainbows. That's where the Dallas Cowboys belong. There can only be one between the Jags and the Patriots, again, fundamentally does not make sense. These are 2 quarterbacks and 2 coaching staffs and 2 teams that have made major decisions from, last season, from the season before into the last season. And they reaped the rewards of those changes. Vrabel, Josh, Liam, right? And we've seen the quarterbacks grow and evolve and be the best version of themselves. So these are 2 teams and 2 quarterbacks and 2 coach staffs. Things are ascending. Things are improving. Things are getting better. That's the trajectory. You understand that? It's the trajectory. Okay, sure. Good. Again, this is why it always makes me laugh, because the Patriots and the Jags, it's like they can't be on a positive trajectory. The Chiefs are on a declining trajectory, but it's like, no, it's not really a trajectory. It's like, it's just a little thing. And it's like, how does that make sense? And again, I already talked about the Packers and the Broncos. First off, the Broncos were the better team, even before Micah got injured. That's just the reality. It was a close game. The Broncos were clearly the better team. And Bo Nix clearly played better. Jordan Love had an uneven game there, had a bad turnover. Like this, and Micah got injured because he was chasing around Bo Nix. Bo Nix was awesome. Bo Nix was cooking. So just saying there. And yeah, I mean the Rams, I'm not sure what's going on with Myles Garrett, all of that. I kind of roll my eyes at the whole Aaron Donald conversation. I mean, the media is going so all in. They're treated as if it's like LeBron James returning or something like that. Obviously, I love Aaron Donald. Obviously, I think he's a monster and a beast. But I just like, I hate like random speculation. Is he going to play? Is he not? Is he? And it's just like, wake me up if he's actually playing. Like, if he's actually playing, I'll love it. We'll talk about it. That's great. I'm not here to talk about it every single day. Like, did you see the videos of him working out? Like, it's like, dude, get over it. Talk about the players that are there. I mean, seriously, like, just talk about the players that are there. And I don't think the Rams have a Super Bowl hangover. I think they're going to be great. As long as they're healthy, they'll be great. There's no hangover there. The whole hangover is just such absolute, utter nonsense. And that Seahawks segment that he just said, I'm going to be making that a separate clip. I'm going to be making that a separate clip without a doubt because I got some strong thoughts about the lack of coverage of the Seattle Seahawks. And this is what I told Seahawks fans before, that the Seahawks won the Super Bowl and they were barely discussed. And a bunch of Seahawks fans got mad at me because I was talking about various fan bases and this, that, and media attention. And they were like, you're wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And now first things first is like, we barely talk about them. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm observing it. I'm witnessing it. And that's why I work so hard to cover it and all of that. And, you know, credit Danny, credit me. Credit me. Let's not pretend like Danny had them in the Super Bowl. Let's not pretend that. I'm on a live stream talking about the Seahawks months prior before anyone was. I'm the one that said, be on the lookout for the Seahawks the moment they got Sam Darnold. The moment they signed Sam Darnold. But you know, I'm not the mainstream media. I'm not on national television, so I'm less important. I know. It's my own insecurities, my own ego of wanting to be bigger than I actually am. So, you know, I'll have to work on that, I guess. I'll have to work on that. I gotta stay in my lane. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think of these tiers. I think for me personally, and I'll end here, this clip is already quite long. I appreciate the rankings and the tiers and the quarterback tiers and the rankings and all that. I really do. I'm grateful that they have all these various lists and all this other stuff and everyone talks about it. That's why I always call it the sports ecosystem. Like, we need the talk shows, we need these lists, we need the writers, we need the player, we need it all. It all involves, like, I read a comment the other day where they're talking about Lamar Jackson. They were saying, like, oh, you know, these guys need to send a check to Lamar for how much, you know, they talk about him or how much money they make off they're talking about. And it's like, it's all connected. Lamar Jackson also makes a ton of money because the shows talk about him so much, because football is popular, because the fans care, and the fans, like, it's all part of it. Like, that's all part of it. The WNBA, pre-Caitlin Clark, was not popular, so nobody was talking about it. And no shows were dedicating time to it, so they didn't make money. Now they're more popular because people are watching the shows, watching the games. Now they can make more money. So it's an ecosystem. It's all connected. So I am genuinely grateful that we get these random lists and these random tiers, because without them, then we're not entertained. Then we don't have anything to talk about. But with that said, I still reach personally like a burnout point where I'm just like, I can only rank and tier so much, especially because we're, you know, a month or so away from the season where now we're going to be heavily doing that. And so right now in this moment of time, when I know we're about a month away from the games, like trying to parse out and really figure out, are the Commanders better than the Bucks? Should the Commanders be above the Bucks? Right? Like, I'm like, you know, like it just doesn't matter. It doesn't. It just doesn't matter because we will be seeing games. And although I'm not the type of person who's just like, we'll see on Sunday, because I think that I hate when people do that. Like, we'll make a video talking about, like, oh, who's better, which team's better, what team will win. And then people in the comment be like, it's so dumb to talk about this. We'll just see on Sunday. And then I'm always like, that doesn't make any sense. We're here to talk football. We're here to talk sports. Like, we're here to, like, make predictions and guesses and analyze and try to figure stuff out. Just have a conversation. So anytime I see those comments of like, there's no point in talking about it, we'll just see on Sunday. It's like, okay, so then I guess like we shouldn't watch sports shows or have any type of discussions. It's like, I don't want that. I don't want that either. But at the same time, like right now in this immediate moment, August, we've already gone through so many tiers, so many rankings. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm curious if that lands for any of you, if you have any of that shared experience. I'm also personally just seeing the conversations around all these teams and quarterbacks ramp up, and I personally just have had an avalanche of just takes where I'm just like, it really does feel like my brain is about to explode, and I'm just like, I gotta like, I think I have to like recalibrate myself of like, all right, man, like we're this is the sprint, right? Like we're almost there. Like everything's ramping up. That means the takes are ramping up, which means the insanity is ramping up, which means the comment section is ramping up, which means the insanity of the comment section is ramping up. It's like, you gotta ground yourself. You gotta get back into the swing of things. It's no different than the players that like, they don't just immediately jump in and play full contact football. It's like, they gotta transition into it. They gotta smooth into it. They gotta ease into it. And it's the same thing with takes, the same thing with conversations, the same thing with just taking all this in and then trying to digest it, trying to figure out, what is the conversation. And so like, that's been my experience where it's just like, maybe I was lulled to sleep a little bit over the last couple of months where it's just kind of like the same thing. And then like, there was a lot of like lack of football talk because everybody was talking about the World Cup, and then we're talking about basketball and, Wembanyama and the Knicks and LeBron and the Sixers. And now it's just been like a smack in the face of just like chaos from every angle, from every show, from every persona, from every ex-player, from every comment. And I'm like, what is happening? So it's time to wake up. Which again, that's why these guys all went on vacations. They all went on vacations for an extended vacation. Colin was gone for like 2 weeks or something. So, it's time. It's time to jump into it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Nick's tiers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.